Hello, students. In the second part of this lesson, we have studied that the people of South Africa sang two national anthems as a symbol of that day. Mandela recalled that the reason for this movement was that black-skinned people were exploited by the white people. He said that this type of separation of people of South Africa is the origin of many stars. It produced many great people. He believes that people must learn to hate first, because if they hate, then they can be taught to love, as love comes from the opposite circumstances. He also says that a brave man is not that who does not feel afraid, but who conquers it. Further, he talks about two obligations in a life of a man has. First, towards his family, to his parents, to his wife, and to his children. And second, on the other hand, obligation towards his country, towards his people, and the community. Everyone fulfills his duty as per his inclination and interest, but it was very tough to fulfill in a country like South Africa. Moving further, we'll start the third part of the lesson. I was not born with a hunger to be free. I was born free, free in every way that I could know. Now, Mandela is talking about his childhood, the way he was, where he was born. He was born in a very hillside area, and he was very free. He was free the way he knew. Every aspect he was free to run in the fields near my mother's hut, free to swim in the clear stream that ran through my village, free to roast maize under the stars and ride the broad backs of slow moving bulls. He was born in a village, hillside village, and there was a stream, there was a maize, and herds were there, right? Herds were there, and he was free to do everything, every activity that he likes as a child. As long as I obeyed my father and abided by the customs of my tribe, I was not troubled by the laws of man or God. Now, every freedom has their own boundaries. If we say that we are free to do whatever we want, then we are not, because if you can, for example, if you are sitting in the classroom and I say that you are free to do whatever you like, but you are not. You are abided by the teachers, you are abided by the rules of the classroom, being a student, right? So here what happens, then when he was a child, he was free to do whatever he likes, but the only condition was that he has to obey his father. He was abided by the customs of his tribe, or customs of his people, community, and he was not troubled by the laws of man or God. If he obeyed these customs and rules of his father and customs of his tribe. It was only when I began to learn that my boyhood, that means the stage or time of being a boy, right? So it was the only when he began to learn that his boyhood freedom was an illusion. That means a very false idea or a very false belief. So when he became a boy, when he entered in this boyhood, he understood that this freedom was just an illusion. It's not the true freedom. When I discovered as a young man that my freedom had already been taken from me, that I began to hunger for it. When he became a boy, he understood what freedom truly means, and from that point, his hunger for freedom grows. When he was a child, he was not born with the hunger of freedom, but eventually when he learned what is freedom, he began to grow his hunger for the freedom. At first, as a student, I wanted freedom only for myself. When he was a student, he wanted freedom just for himself only. The transitory freedom, transitory, that means not permanent. So when he was a student, he wants freedom for only for himself, and that was the transitory freedoms, not the permanent, of being able to stay out at night. These are the things that every student, every boy wants. Being able to stay out at night, read what I please, and go where I choose. So these kind of things are restricted, right? We students are generally restricted this kind of freedom. They are not getting this kind of things. They have to obey their families, they have to obey their father and mother and teachers and everyone. So these kinds of freedoms he wants as a student, and they were the transitory freedom, not permanent. Later, as a young man, in Johannesburg, now it is the place. In Johannesburg, I yearn for the basic and honorable freedoms of achieving my potential. And when he become young, he want to achieve something, and to achieve his potential, his skills, and that kind of freedoms he want. Of earning my keep, he wants to earn his own keeps. Of marrying and having a family, the freedom not to be obstructed in a lawful life. So this kind of freedoms he want as a young man. But then i slowly I slowly saw that not only was I not free, but my brothers and sisters were not free. So he gradually saw that not only he, but his brothers and sisters, they were also not free. I saw that it was not just my freedom that I was curtailed. Curtailed, that means reduced or impose a restrictions on. So not only his freedom was restricted, but the freedom of everyone who looked like I did, who has the same color of the skin. So now he understood what freedom means, and who are the people who are restricted, who are curtailed to get that freedom. That is when I joined the African National Congress. It's a party's name, right? So he joined after when he understood the true meaning of the freedom and the people who are not free. He joined this uh, party, African National Congress, and that is when the hunger for my own freedom became the greater hunger for the freedom of my people. So after joining this African National Congress, his hunger for his own freedom became the greater hunger, and that is for the freedom of his people. It was the desire for the It was the desire for the freedom of my people to live their lives with dignity and self respect. It is more important. African people in this apartheid systems, they were not getting any kind of dignity, they were not getting self respect, they were treated very badly, very harshly. And that kind of freedom he wants, that my countrymen, my people will live their lives with dignity and self respect. That was his motto, that was his aim, that animated my life that transformed a frightened young man into a bold one. And when he set his motto, when he set his objective of his life, that animated his life, that gives force to his life, that transform this frightened young man to a very bold man, and that drove a law abiding attorney, that means a lawyer, advocate, right, who's practicing advocacy. So that drove a law abiding attorney to become a criminal. And that is now he became the criminal because he was against the government who was based on the apartheid systems, and he was against this government. That means he is a criminal if one doesn't follow the law or rules that are set by the government. That means he is the criminal. And that is the reason who earlier he was a law abiding attorney, and now he became the criminal. That turned a family loving husband. No, here doesn't come with the, here he doesn't stop with the criminal, but more, that turned a family loving husband into a man without home. Earlier we discussed that if any African man wants to fulfill his obligations toward his country, towards his people, then he became homeless. So same thing happened here. So he turned from family loving husband into a man without home. So he doesn't have any home. That forced a life loving man to live like a monk. So he was very life loving man, and now he is forced to live like a monk. I am no more virtuous or self sacrificing than the next man, but I found that I could not even enjoy the poor and limited freedoms I was allowed when I knew my people were not free. So he says that he is not that much virtuous or self sacrificing than the next man. So everyone who are there in that party, who are there in the Africa, they were all virtuous and self sacrificing people. But he found that he could not enjoy the poor and limited freedoms he was allowed when I knew my people were not free. So he was getting some of the poor and limited freedoms, but he did not accept it. Why? Because he knew that his people were not free. This is the sign of the great man. Freedom is indivisible. Indivisible, that means unable to divided or separated. So freedom is totally indivisible. It is not separated. We cannot separate it. The chains on any one of my people were the chains on all of them. If even a single people has the chain of that prison, right, that means everyone has that kind of chain. Every people of the country has the chain. The chain on all my people were the chains on me. If all the people has the chain, that means even Nelson Mandela is not free. So that is the reason he says that freedom is indivisible. I knew that the oppressor must be liberated just as surely as the oppressed. He knew that oppressor who is oppressing, who is suppressing the people, they must be liberated as surely as the oppressed. Now it is bit confusing that how oppressor can be liberated. They are already liberated. They are ruling over the low people. They are ruling over the poor people. So how they can be oppressed? In the next lines he's giving some light over this. A man who takes away another man's freedom is a prisoner of hatred. Why he says that oppressors must be liberated? Because oppressor, the man who takes away another freedom, is a prisoner of hatred. He has so much hatred in his heart and he became the prisoner of the hatred. He is locked behind the bars of prejudice and narrow mindedness. The person who oppressed someone, the person who suppressed someone, he is locked behind the bars of prejudice and narrow mindedness. Prejudice, that means a very strong dislike without any good reason. That kind of bars, that kind of prison, that kind of cage under which the oppressor is present or caged. I am not truly free if I am taking away someone else's freedom. I am not truly free if I am taking away someone else's freedom. Just as surely as I am not free when my freedom is taken from me. So he is talking the earlier thing in a different line, that if I wanted to be free, then I cannot take away someone else's freedom. If I am taking someone else's freedom, that means I am under the bar of the hatredness. I am the under the bar of the prejudice. I am the under the bar of the narrow mindedness. So if someone wants to be free, then he should not take away someone else's freedom. As now he is comparing the same thing, as I am not free when the freedom is taken from me. If freedom is taken from me, that means I am not free. And if I am taking someone else's freedom, that means also that I am under the bar. The oppressed and the oppressor. Oppressed, that means the person who are being oppressed. The oppressed and the oppressor are robbed, are alike are robbed of their humanity. Both are robbed from their humanity. Both are robbed from the human right, basic human rights. So this is the end of the lesson. Let's recall all the chapter point wise. This chapter is an extract from Nelson Mandela, South Africa's first elected president, autobiography, that is The Long Walk to Freedom. Inauguration ceremony was going on there, and it was on the 10th May 1994, and wherein the entire nation, the people of the entire nation and international leaders and dignitaries, they all came to embrace the victory of newly and fairly elected government. At first, Mr. de Klerk has sworn as a second deputy minister, and then Thabo Mbeki has sworn as the first deputy minister, and later Nelson Mandela took an oath as the first black president. Mandela assured, in his speech, Mandela assured his countrymen, his people, that his country would never ever experience the same suppression, same oppression by one by another. So the country is now totally free. White supremacy introduced the system of apartheid, as we talked, and made life living a hell for the dark skinned population. So dark skinned people are not getting the freedom like the white people. In the early 20th century, many people have struggled and sacrifices for their basic human rights, and Mandela was one of them. Mandela believes that courageous is not a man who is fearless, but the man who has overcome the fear. He also mentioned the two responsibilities every human has in order to fulfill his obligations towards the society, and his obligations towards his family was neglected. In order to fulfill his obligations towards his society, he was failed to fulfill the obligations towards his family. He joined the African National Congress ANC and fought for his right till he became the first black president of the nation. According to him, the oppressor is as much as the prisoner as the oppressed. As soon as the former robs the oppressed of their freedom, he himself gets robbed of his humanity. Thus, the oppressor too is not free. So, both the oppressor and oppressed both are under the bars of the prison. I hope you guys understood this lesson. If you want to know more about the apartheid system, which was a part of the African history, and the biography of Nelson Mandela, in order to understand this lesson in a best manner, I have shared the link in the description box below. You can check it out for your reference. And as you can see in front of your screen, it always seems impossible until it's done. I think this quote resembles the title of his autobiography, Long Walk to Freedom. It was totally impossible. One could not even imagine how to throw away this apartheid system from the African country. But it always starts with a single step. So finally he achieved his goal. Finally he was able to free his countrymen. Finally he was able to give the basic human rights to the dark skinned people and the colored people. Thank you very much. Keep learning.